best SUV for an older driver is not necessarily the most luxurious one, it is not the fastest, and it definitely is not the one with the biggest touchscreen. In fact, some of the features that look impressive in a dealership can become annoying every single day. A roofline that looks sporty can make getting in harder. Thick pillars can hide traffic at intersections. Huge wheels can make the ride unnecessarily harsh. And putting every basic function inside a touchscreen can turn something as simple as changing the temperature into a distraction. For many drivers, the things that matter most are much simpler. Can you get in without dropping down into the seat? Can you see clearly out of the vehicle? Can you turn your head and understand what is around you? Are the controls easy to learn? Does the SUV feel stable and predictable? Will adaptive cruise control make a long highway drive less tiring? And can you realistically keep the vehicle for years without regretting the decision? Today, we are ranking the 5 best SUVs for older drivers in 2026. And there is one important detail. I am not ranking these SUVs by horsepower. I am ranking them by how easy they are to actually live with. Visibility, entry and exit, seat comfort, safety technology, ride quality, fuel economy, cargo access, and the amount of unnecessary stress the vehicle creates. At number 5, we have a premium SUV. At number 3, one of the most popular hybrids in the world. And number 1 wins for a reason that almost never appears in a horsepower comparison. It may simply be one of the easiest SUVs to see out of. Let's begin. Top 5. Lexus NX Hybrid. At number 5 is the 2026 Lexus NX Hybrid. This is the premium choice on the list. And if comfort is your highest priority, there is a strong argument for putting the NX even higher. The reason it stays at number 5 is simple. You are paying a premium for that refinement, and some drivers may find that the less expensive SUVs ahead of it are actually easier to live with. Still, the NX does several things extremely well. Why the NX makes sense. The first advantage is the seating position. You sit higher than you would in a traditional sedan. But the NX is not so tall that climbing into it feels like entering a truck. That middle ground matters. A vehicle can be too low, but it can also be too high. The ideal seating height allows you to move sideways into the seat without falling down into the cabin or pulling yourself upward. The NX gets very close to that balance. The second advantage is refinement. Noise matters more than many buyers realize. A vehicle that constantly sends tire noise, wind noise, and engine vibration into the cabin can make a long journey more tiring. The Lexus approach is different. The NX is designed around a quieter, more polished experience. For someone who spends significant time on highways, that can make the vehicle feel much easier to live with. The hybrid makes the most sense for this ranking. I would choose the NX 350h hybrid rather than buying the most powerful version available. Why? Because this video is not about maximum acceleration, it is about low-stress ownership. The hybrid gives you smooth, low-speed operation and avoids the need to plug the vehicle in every night. The 2026 NX also comes standard with Lexus Safety System Plus 3.0, including features such as pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, full-speed adaptive cruise control, lane tracing assist, and road sign assist. Those features become especially useful on long journeys. Adaptive cruise control can reduce the constant small speed adjustments you normally make in traffic. Lane assistance can provide another layer of support. And automatic emergency braking is there for situations where fractions of a second matter. None of these systems replaces the driver, but good driver assistance can reduce workload. And reducing workload is one of the themes of this entire ranking. One feature. I really like the NX also offers safe exit assist through its electronic door latch system. The system can warn about vehicles or cyclists approaching from behind when someone is about to open the door. That is the kind of technology I like, not because it looks impressive on a specification sheet, but because it addresses an actual everyday situation. What I don't like. The biggest issue is complexity. This is still a luxury vehicle. More equipment means more systems, larger displays, more powered components, more sensors, and potentially more expensive repairs if bodywork or electronics are damaged. The available 14-inch touchscreen looks excellent, but some buyers may prefer the simpler control layouts found in the SUVs ahead of it. And premium tires, lighting and body components can be more expensive than equivalent parts on a mainstream SUV. So if you want quietness, refinement and a premium cabin, the NX is excellent. If you mainly want something easy and economical to own, keep watching. Who should buy it? Choose the Lexus NX Hybrid if you want. A quiet cabin, a comfortable seating position, premium materials, strong driver assistance technology, and a hybrid powertrain without needing to plug in. It is the luxury choice of this ranking. But the next SUV gives you a surprising amount of comfort for considerably less money. Top 4. Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. At number 4 is the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. The Tucson may be the most visually modern SUV on this list. It has large displays, a distinctive interior, a strong hybrid powertrain, and plenty of useful technology. But the reason I included it is not because it looks futuristic. It is here because it can be remarkably comfortable and easy to drive. The first thing you notice: the Tucson feels spacious. That matters. A narrow cabin can make entering, exiting, and moving around inside the vehicle more difficult. The Tucson gives the driver a fairly open environment. The seats are positioned at a useful height, and the cabin has enough room that you do not feel squeezed between the door and center console. For someone who occasionally has stiffness in the knees, hips, or back, those small differences can matter much more than another 50 horsepower. Safety technology. Hyundai equips its current vehicles with a broad SmartSense safety suite. For 2026, Hyundai says its vehicles include standard technologies such as lane departure warning, lane keep assist, driver attention warning, forward collision avoidance assist with pedestrian detection, and high beam assist. The Tucson can also offer highway driving assist, which combines lane following assistance with adaptive cruise functions to reduce the amount of constant correction required during highway travel. Again, these technologies do not drive the vehicle for you, but on a long trip, reducing constant acceleration, braking, and lane correction can make driving noticeably less tiring. The hybrid advantage. I would strongly consider the hybrid. Why? Smoothness. At low speeds, electric assistance helps the Tucson move away more quietly and progressively. That can make parking lots and slow traffic easier. You also get better fuel economy than the conventional gasoline version without having to plug the SUV in. For someone who wants hybrid efficiency but does not want to think about charging, that is an attractive compromise. Where Hyundai does something very well. Hyundai understands convenience. Available heated seats, a heated steering wheel on some trims, large displays, surround view camera technology, parking sensors. Those features may sound like luxuries when you are 30, but some become increasingly useful over time. A 360-degree camera is a perfect example. It does not make the car faster. It does not improve horsepower, but it can make parking a wide SUV much less stressful. And that is exactly the type of technology I want in this ranking. The problem. The controls will not suit everyone. The Tucson relies heavily on its modern electronic interface. Some drivers will love it. Others may prefer more traditional physical controls. This is something I would absolutely test before purchasing. Sit inside the vehicle without the salesperson explaining anything. Try to change the temperature. Turn on the heated seat. Change the radio station. Find the driver assistance settings. If those basic tasks feel confusing in the showroom, they probably will not become more enjoyable in traffic. That test applies to every vehicle on this list. Who should buy it? Choose the Tucson Hybrid if you want. A modern interior, plenty of space, strong safety technology, useful parking assistance, and an excellent combination of comfort and equipment. It is particularly attractive for someone who likes technology. But if you prefer a vehicle that feels a little more traditional and extremely easy to understand, number 3 may be better. Top 3. Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. At number 3 is the 2026 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, and for long-term ownership, this might be the safest overall recommendation on the list. The completely redesigned 2026 RAV4 is now electrified across the lineup, and Toyota equips it with its latest Toyota Safety Sense 4.0 driver assistance package. But reliability reputation is not enough to earn a place in this video. A vehicle also has to be comfortable to use every day, and the RAV4 does many of those basic things very well. Why the RAV4 works? The driving position is upright. You get the elevated view people want from an SUV. but the vehicle remains compact enough that it does not feel like a large truck. That matters in parking lots, on narrow streets, and when judging the corners of the vehicle. You want height without feeling disconnected from the road. The RAV4 generally offers that balance. Safety is a major strength. Toyota Safety Sense 4.0 includes technologies designed to assist with collision avoidance, pedestrian detection, lane support, and adaptive cruise control. The important thing here is not the name of the system, it is what those features do in the real world. Adaptive cruise control can maintain distance from the vehicle ahead, lane assistance can provide corrective support, pre-collision systems can warn the driver and intervene under certain conditions. For someone who frequently makes long highway journeys, those systems can reduce some of the repetitive workload. The hybrid system. The 2026 RAV4 is especially interesting because Toyota has moved the model fully toward electrified powertrains. Toyota lists fuel economy as high as approximately 47 miles per gallon city and 40 highway on certain US configurations. That is important for another reason. Stopping at fuel stations less often is a convenience. Fuel economy is usually discussed only as a financial advantage. But there is also a practical advantage. A vehicle that travels farther between fill-ups simply asks less of you. The controls. This is where I think Toyota needs to be judged carefully. The new RAV4 has much more technology than older generations. The digital gauge cluster and central touchscreen are now major parts of the cabin. Some buyers will appreciate that. Others may prefer the more traditional feel of previous RAV4s. The good news is that Toyota has generally kept the essential driving experience straightforward. You do not need to understand how the hybrid system works. You simply drive it. The vehicle decides when to use the engine, electric motor, or a combination of both. Why it isn't number one visibility. Not bad visibility. But the two SUVs ahead of it have particular advantages in this area. And when I am choosing a vehicle specifically for an older driver, I am willing to sacrifice a little styling for larger windows and easier sightlines. Being able to naturally understand where the vehicle is positioned is incredibly important. Parking cameras are useful. Blind spot monitoring is useful. But technology should support good visibility, not replace it. Who should buy it? Choose the RAV4 Hybrid if you want. Excellent fuel economy, strong safety technology, easy hybrid operation, a compact SUV size, and a vehicle you could realistically keep for many years. For someone who wants one SUV to handle almost everything, the RAV4 remains extremely compelling. But number 2 feels even more family-friendly. Top 2, Honda CR-V Hybrid. At number 2 is the 2026 Honda CR-V Hybrid, and this might be the SUV I would recommend to the widest range of drivers. Why? Because Honda has done something very important. The CR-V is spacious without feeling enormous, comfortable without feeling disconnected, and modern without making the basic driving experience unnecessarily complicated. The current hybrid uses Honda's two-motor system with 204 horsepower on US versions, and Honda Sensing driver assistance technology is available across the CR-V lineup. Easy entry and exit. This is one of the first things I would test in any SUV. Do not look at horsepower first. Open the door, get in, then get back out. Do it several times. The CR-V's relatively upright seating position makes this easier than in many sedans and lower crossovers. You do not have to drop far into the seat, and you are not climbing as high as you would in a traditional body-on-frame SUV. That middle height is one reason compact SUVs have become so popular. Space. The CR-V is exceptionally useful inside. And that matters more with age, not less. Maybe you are carrying luggage, golf equipment, groceries, a walker, camping equipment, grandchildren, or simply several bags without wanting to play a game of Tetris every time you open the tailgate. A wide, practical cargo area makes daily life easier. Available power tailgate functionality on higher hybrid trims can make loading even more convenient. The driving experience. The hybrid is the version I would choose. Honda's two-motor hybrid system delivers 204 horsepower and EPA fuel economy ratings as high as 40 miles per gallon city and 34 highway on certain configurations. But again, horsepower is not why I like it. The hybrid is smooth in stop-and-go driving. The electric motor can provide immediate low-speed response, and the vehicle does not need to be connected to a charger. You simply drive normally. That is the type of technology I want. Technology that simplifies your routine instead of creating another routine. Honda Sensing. Honda Sensing includes driver assistance technologies designed to alert the driver to hazards and assist under certain conditions. For highway driving, adaptive cruise and lane support technologies can be genuinely useful, but I would give the same warning I give with every modern safety system. Learn how it works before you need it. Do not buy the SUV and leave every setting exactly as the salesperson configured it. Understand the alerts. Understand what the symbols mean. Know how to turn features on and off. Driver assistance should reduce stress. If you do not understand it, it can create stress instead. Why it is number 2. The CR-V is probably the most balanced vehicle on this list. Comfort, space, fuel economy, safety, easy entry, strong everyday practicality. If someone told me, I am retiring, I want one SUV, I want to travel, I want something comfortable, and I do not want to think about replacing it every 3 years. The CR-V hybrid would be very high on my list. So why does it lose? Because one SUV does one incredibly basic thing even better. It lets you see. Top 1. Subaru Forester. The number 1 SUV for older drivers in 2026 is the Subaru Forester. And the reason is almost refreshingly simple. Visibility. Before giant screens, before parking cameras, before blind spot monitors, before lane centering systems, there was one basic way to make a vehicle easier to drive. Let the driver see outside. And Subaru has continued to make that a major strength of the Forester. Subaru itself describes the 2026 Forester as having a spacious interior with impressive visibility. That may sound like a small detail. I think it is one of the most important features in this entire video. Why visibility matters so much. Imagine approaching an intersection. You are looking around a thick windshield pillar, a pedestrian is approaching, a bicycle is moving from the side, another car is entering the intersection. The less you have to move your head around structural blind spots, the easier it is to understand the situation. Now imagine reversing from a parking space, or turning onto a narrow street, or checking whether another vehicle is beside you. Cameras and sensors help. But seeing naturally through the windows gives you immediate information without requiring interpretation. That lowers mental workload, and lower workload makes driving feel easier. The Forester's shape is an advantage. The Forester does not have the most dramatic roofline. Good. It does not try to look like a coupe. Good. Its relatively upright shape creates useful glass area. And the cabin is designed around practicality. This is one of those situations where styling restraint creates a functional advantage. A sloping roof may look sporty in a photograph, but nobody has ever complained that their rear window was too easy to see through. Entry and exit. The Forester also gives you the seating position people usually want from an SUV. It sits high enough to make entering easier, but it does not require the climbing motion of a very tall truck-based SUV. Standard Forester models have 8.7 inches of ground clearance, while the Wilderness increases that to 9.3 inches. For most drivers in this ranking, I would actually avoid the Wilderness. You probably do not need the additional off-road hardware. The normal Forester is already high enough. Keep the configuration simple. EyeSight. Every 2026 Forester includes Subaru EyeSight driver assist technology. The system includes functions such as automatic pre-collision braking, and available adaptive cruise with lane centering can assist with steering, braking, and throttle control while maintaining distance from traffic ahead. This creates a combination I really like. Good passive visibility first, electronic assistance second. The technology is helping a vehicle that is already easy to understand from the driver's seat. It is not trying to compensate for terrible visibility. Space. The Forester is also extremely practical inside. Subaru lists up to 110.8 cubic feet of passenger space and up to 74.4 cubic feet of maximum cargo capacity, depending on configuration. It also uses a wide rear gate opening, with a hands-free power rear gate available on some trims. That means it works for more than commuting. Groceries, luggage, outdoor equipment, family visits, long trips, and anything else life decides to put in the back. Gas or hybrid? For 2026, Subaru offers both conventional and hybrid Forester variants. The hybrid is especially attractive if you drive frequently in urban and suburban conditions. Subaru says the Forester hybrid includes standard eyesight and offers fuel economy up to roughly 35 miles per gallon depending on configuration and conditions. But I would not automatically tell everyone to buy the hybrid. If you drive very little each year, calculate whether the additional purchase price actually makes sense. For some drivers, the normal gasoline Forester may be enough. For someone who drives frequently, the hybrid becomes much more attractive. One thing I would change: the large touchscreen. An 11.6-inch display is available and standard on many trims. Some drivers will like it, others will not. This is another reason I recommend sitting in the car and trying the basic functions before buying. Do not let someone demonstrate everything for you. Use it yourself. If you can operate the essential features comfortably after a short introduction, excellent. If not, compare trims or compare another model. The best SUV is not the one reviewers find easy to use, it is the one you find easy to use. Why the Forester wins? The Forester wins because it prioritizes the fundamentals. You can see out of it. You sit upright. The cabin is spacious. The cargo opening is practical. All-wheel drive is standard. Eyesight provides another layer of assistance. And the vehicle does not need an aggressive roofline or huge dimensions to feel like a proper SUV. The RAV4 may be the better fuel economy and long-term value choice for some people. The CR-V may feel more refined to others. The Lexus is quieter, and the Tucson gives you more dramatic technology. But if my priority was simply make driving as easy and low-stress as possible, I would start by test driving the Forester. Final verdict. Here is the final ranking. Top 5. Lexus NX Hybrid, the premium choice. Quiet, comfortable, well-equipped, and packed with useful driver assistance technology. Choose it if refinement matters and your budget allows it. Top 4. Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. The technology choice. Spacious, comfortable, modern, and particularly good for drivers who appreciate cameras, parking assistance, and advanced convenience features. Top 3. Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. The long-term ownership choice. Excellent efficiency, strong safety technology, easy hybrid operation, and one of the most rational all-around SUVs for someone who wants to keep a vehicle for years. Top 2. Honda CR-V Hybrid. The comfort and practicality choice. Easy to enter, spacious, smooth, efficient, and extremely well-suited to road trips and everyday family use. Top 1. Subaru Forester. The visibility choice. And for this ranking, that is enough to make it number 1. Large windows, an upright seating position, excellent passenger space, strong driver assistance, and a shape designed around practicality rather than styling tricks. For an older driver who wants an SUV that simply feels easy to understand from behind the wheel, the Forester is my number 1 choice. But there is one final rule. Do not buy any of these vehicles without sitting in them first. Not for 2 minutes. Spend some time inside. Get in. Get out. Adjust the seat. Look over both shoulders. Try the touchscreen. Use the climate controls. Reverse into a parking space. Drive over a rough road. And try getting out again. Because 2 people of exactly the same age can have completely different needs. One may prioritize seat height. Another may need better visibility. Another may want the quietest possible cabin, and another may simply want physical controls that are easy to recognize. The best SUV for an older driver is not the SUV with the longest equipment list. It is the one that makes driving feel natural. So now I want to hear from you. If you had to choose one today, Lexus NX, Hyundai Tucson, Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, or Subaru Forester, which one would you choose? And what matters most to you? Comfort, visibility, easy entry, or reliability.